Okay, let's take a look at this number, vocabulary review. The whole number 3,650 is divisible by what other whole numbers? So can somebody, there's infinitely many ways to answer these problems. This one, there's a few ways to answer it, but your answer might be a little different from others. Who can give me the numbers that 3,650 are divisible by? Yes, go ahead. Just one. Just give me one number. 50. Okay. Good. Give me another number. 10. Very good. Give me another number. Yes. 25. Good. I like these. Can somebody give me another one in the back, Bryce? 2. Nice. Any others? Yes. 5. Very good. Okay, and there's some others, but we're not going to get into that right now. Give me some examples of numbers divisible by 10. Can I get some volunteers to some numbers divisible by 10? Go ahead. What's that? 20? Yep. Can I get another example? Yes. 40. Good. Any others? Yes, Robert. 50. Mm-hmm. Another one? Yep. 60. Good. Yes. 10. 10 is divisible by itself. Nice. Yes. 70. Okay. Somebody in the last class gave me one. I thought it was pretty creative. I couldn't write it out. $1 trillion. It's true. Give some examples of numbers divisible by 5. Can I get an example? Jakari, give me a number that's divisible by 5. 10. Very good. Can I get another one? Yes. 20. Yep. Some more. Yep. 25. Nice. Some more? Yep. 225. Good. Can I get one more? Robert. 50,000. Okay. Can somebody give me examples of numbers divisible by 2? Mason. 12. Another one? Uh-huh. 4. Can I get another one? 24. Another one? Nima. 2. And one last one. Go ahead. 18. Okay, give an example of numbers divisible by 3. Yep. 18. Can I get another example? Yes. 15. Another one? 21. And one more. Jakari. 9. Nice. Okay, so believe it or not, for numbers 2 through 5, there are infinitely many answers. Okay, now we're going to get into, so you gave me some examples, but today we're going to get into what are some rules to identify what a specific number is divisible by. And so let's go over some of these rules. You might already know some of these. I'm going to go ahead and read these because I want to use this video for the message board. What you'll learn, you're going to learn to apply divisibility rules to integers. Our new vocabulary is divisible. And why we're going to learn this, one whole number is divisible by a second whole number if the remainder is 0 when you divide the first number by the second number. The table shows tests to determine if a number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, or 10. There's some missing, and the other class had some questions about how to fill in rules for other numbers that aren't there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's first take a look at, I would suggest having these in your notes, but we're going to try to run through these, and we can backtrack to this later. So if you look at the table, in the column, the first column, we have the number, and in the second column, we have the tests for divisibility. So for number 2, the test for divisibility is if the number ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So if we backtrack to the warm-up, divisibility for 2, do these end in 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? We're missing a number that ends in 0. Can you guys give me a number that ends in 0 that would be divisible by 2? 10. Okay, so let's add to this. I'm going to add 10. So 0, we have 2, we have 4. What about a number that ends in 6? 56. So all these numbers, because they end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, they're all divisible by 2. Okay, that's what the first rule says. Okay? Now, the second rule, for 3, the sum of the digits of the number are divisible by 3. So if you take a look at this example, 567, is that divisible by 3? No. Well, we need to take the sum of the digits. So what are the sum of the digits
3, 6,
of 567?
3, 6, 9.
No, this number right here.
Oh.
Is it divisible by 3?
No.
How do we check to see if that's divisible by 3? Without actually dividing it and doing it the long way. We're going to use this rule right here, right? How do we do that? Okay, so let me walk you through the strategy. So if you're not using this strategy, you're not going to have enough time to do the quiz tomorrow. So here's the strategy. Watch. To check if this is divisible by 3, what we're going to do is add the digits. 5 plus 6 plus 7. And what does 5 plus 6 plus 7 equal? 18. That's 11. That's 18. Can we divide 18 by 3? And what does that equal? That equals 6. So this is true. It is divisible. Yes. Do you guys see how that works? Do you understand the divisibility test for 3? Okay. So if I look at the number, 567 is divisible by 3 if I can add up those digits from that number, and it gives me something that's divisible by 3. Okay? Do you understand? Any questions at this point? Okay, yes, Nicole. Do you have a question about this? Okay, the next one, number 4. Now, number 4, how do we check if something's divisible by 4 without actually dividing it? Okay, what's our short, quick way of doing that? If you look, here's my rule for number 4. It says, hey, take a look at the last 2 digits of the number. So I'm not going to look at the whole number. I'm just going to look at the last 2 digits. Do you see the last 2 digits?
Yes.
34. Can you divide 34 by 4?
No.
So guess what? 934 is not divisible by 4. Do you understand? So if I look at just this number, the last 2 digits, 34 divided by 4, well, that's not going to give me a whole number. So that's not divisible by 4. So this number, 934, you can't divide it by 4 without getting a remainder. Do you understand? So these strategies are our shortcuts. Got it? Okay. Now, let's take a look at number 5. That was an easy one. How do we know if something's divisible by 5? What are we going to look at? How do I know if something's divisible by 5? The number ends in either 0 or 5. If we skip count by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, it's either ending in 5s or 0s. So all those numbers that end in 5 or 0 are divisible by 5. So can you tell me, let's skip 5's easy. The next one's very similar to 4. Remember for the number 4 we checked the last 2 numbers? But look for number 8. How many digits are we going to look at the end? We're looking at the last 3 digits. So for this one, we're going to look at just these 3 digits. And, well, let me ask you, is it divisible by 8?
Yeah.
Is the number 29,640, is it divisible by 8? We're taking a look at 640. Does that divide by 8?
Yes.
It does. It does. What does it equal?
80.
What does it equal?
80.
80. And you can mentally do that. So do you see how we're using the trick to kind of quickly tell if it's divisible, right? Because 8 times 8 is 64, so 8 times 80 would be 640. Okay. Question about this? And she gets back. So we are good here. All right, and so 8, the divisibility rule for 8 and 4 are similar. So for 4, it's the last 2 digits. For 8, it's the last 3 digits. Take a look at 9. Isn't that similar to my other rule for 3? Okay, except for number 3, if we're checking to see if it's divisible by 3, we're going to add up all the numbers, and if that number is divisible by 3, then it's good, right? But for 9, we're going to add up the numbers again, and if it's divisible by 9, then it's also a very similar test. So let's take a look at this. So 3016, is that divisible by 9? Okay, and what's the strategy? We do what?
Add up all the numbers.
We add up all the digits that make up 3016. And so we have 3 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6. And what does that equal? 10. That equals 10. Can you divide 10 by 9 without getting a remainder? Nope. So guess what? This number is not divisible by 9. Are we good? Okay. So do you guys think you know the rules? Okay. Have them written down because we're having a quiz over this tomorrow. Okay? No, you're going to need to know these. But I am going to backtrack this. I will put the notes online. Let's go ahead and take a look and practice some of these. And if you notice, I'm missing 8. We know the rule for 8, but I added one. Do you guys see I have the divisibility rule is for 6? How would I know something's divisible by 6 from the rules we already have? What are the factors of 6?
12, 18.
No. If I factored 6, what 2 prime numbers would I get? 3 and what? 2, right? So I can check to see if something's divisible by 6. If it's divisible by 2 and 3, it's also going to be divisible by 6. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let's walk through a couple of these. And I'm going to skip to this one really quickly just because I brought that up. Is 36, take a look at 36. We're going to look at this one first, and then we'll skip the other ones. Is 36 divided by 2?
No.
Well, what does it end in? To be divisible by 2, what do you have to end in? 2, 4, 6, 8. Is this end in 2, 4, 6, or 8?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. So guess what? It's divisible by 2, ends in 6. 6 is even, so it's divisible by 2. But what about 3? What's the rule for 3? Do you guys remember? 3 and 9 are kind of similar, right? What do I do to figure out if I'm divisible by 3? Add the digits. So what's 3 and 6? It's 9. And can you divide 9 by 3?
Yeah.
Guess what? Now, remember I told you the rule for 6 is if you have 2 and 3, then it's also 6. So once you know these two are correct, or divisible by these two numbers, then it's going to be divisible by 6. Right. In order for it to be, if it's only divisible by 2 or only divisible by 3, then it can't be divisible by 6. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's just a trick for 6. All right, but let's go and finish this out. Is 36 divisible by 4? Yeah, because 36 is a multiple of 4 is a multiple, 36 is a multiple of 4, right? What about 5? What does it have to end in order to be divisible by 5? 5 or 0? Is it ending in 5 or 0? Nope. And then what about 9? The rule for 9 is the same as the rule for 3, except for I check to see if the sum of the digits are divisible by 9. 3 and 6 is what? 9. And 9 can be divided by itself, so it's also divisible by 9. Now, the last number we're checking for, 10. Is 36 divided by 10? Why not? It's got to end in the 0, and it does not. So there we go. Now, I wanted to go through that one because I wanted to show you the trick for 6. Let's go ahead and backtrack and take a look at 15. Is 15 divided by 2, divisible by 2? Nope. Doesn't end in an even number. Done. What about 3? Does 3 go into 15? Okay, we know that the factor 5 times 3 gives me 15, right? Or the shortcut is 5 plus 1, right? Is 6, and that works. So we see that this is good for that number. How about 4? Nope. What about 5? Does it end in 0 or 5? Yep. What about 6?
No.
Nope, because look, it's divisible by 3 but not 2, so it can't be divisible by 6. So do you see the example where it's not divisible by 6? If one of them isn't, if 2 or 3, if it's not divisible by 2 or 3, can't be divisible by 6. And what about 9?
No.
5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 can't be divided by 9, so 9 is not it. What about 10?
No.
Doesn't end in 0. Okay, let's skip to some bigger numbers.
102.
Let's go ahead and skip to these.
Oh, that's what
Right. So do you see how we can use our rules for these? Quickly try and use your rules for these big numbers. I'm not asking you to actually divide these. I'm asking you to just use your quick check. Can I get this row do the first two? Row 6 do the first two. Row 5 do the next set, the next pair, 93 and 144. Row 4, if you can do, what are we on? 256 and 75. And then if I can get the row 2, if you guys can do, what are we on? 450 and 70. And then the first 2 rows, you guys can pick 2 rows, whatever rows you want. Pick 2 numbers to find the divisibility of.
you guys. The second to last one and the third to last one. The second last one and the third last one.
Just pick 2 numbers.
I put 4,000. 4,000 is a hard one.
There you go. I will later. Let's see if you could remember the ones as we go over it. Okay? Can you guys do me a favor? Write down the 2 numbers that you were given or you chose. Just write down those 2 numbers. Okay, are you guys done? Everybody got the 2 numbers you're going to do? I'm going to backtrack to the chart. Okay? Go ahead and figure out if those numbers are divisible by these numbers. Okay, we good? All right, should be done with most of them. If you're not done all the way, then we'll walk you through what you didn't get. Okay, so of those that were given this number or chose this number, 268, walk me through this. How do I check if it's divisible by 2? If it ends in an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Does it end in an even number? So we can say it's divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 3? How do we check if a number is divisible by 3? Add up the digits. Well, let's add up the digits. What's 2 plus 6 plus 8? 16. Does 16 divide by 3 evenly or without any remainders? Nope. And 4. Remember for 4, we don't have to divide the whole number. We just look at what 2 digits, the last 2. Does 68 divide by 4?
Yes.
68?
Yes, it does.
64 divides by
It goes
8, right?
7 times.
Right? So 68 would divide, right? What about 5? And why not? It doesn't end in 0 or what else? Or 5. And how about 6? No, why not? It has to be both divisible by 2 and 3, and it's not, so 6. And then 8. Will 8 go into 268? Well, you can, this one, for a 3-digit, there's no shortcut because it says to check if it's the last 3 digits. So will 8 go into 26? How many times? 3, and then you have 2 left over. 28, will 8 go into 28? Nope. So that one's 8 is not 1. What about 9? Sum the digits. 2 and 6, 8. 8 plus 8 is what? And so 9 doesn't work. And does 10 work? No. Okay, now we got a bigger number. Who's got the people that were assigned this number or chose this number? Is it divisible by 2? That's the easy one. Yes. Is it divisible by 3? What's the sum of those digits? 4 and 5 and 1. So that's 9, that's 10, and 10 and 8 is 18. Does 3 go into 18? Yeah. So it's divisible, nice. And what about 4? We just look at the last 2 digits, 18. Does 4 go into 18 evenly, or 18 divided by 4? Nope. So, what about 5? No. Nope. How about 6? Yes. Yes, because we got 2 and 3, so 6 is also a factor. What about 9? Yeah. 9. Well, when we already added up the digits for 3, and we got 18, does 18 divide by 9? Yeah. It does, so 9 also works. And what about 10? No. Nope. And let's check for 8. 518, does 8 go into 51? Well, 8 goes into 51 6 times. That's, what is that, 48. So then we get 3 left over and 38. Does 8 go into 38? Nope. So 8, oh, we were just looking at the last 3 digits, right? Because 48. So I was just trying to get you to mentally do long division, right? So that's how you would test for 8. 93. The group that got 93, or chose 93, does 2 go into 93? Is that divisible? No. Nope. And it doesn't end in an even number. What about 3? Yes. Yep. 9 plus 3 is 12, and 12 divides by 3. What about 4? Yes. Are you sure?
Isn't it,
Will 4 go into 93?
the 9 plus...
No, you're thinking of 3, and 3 and 9 are the ones you take the sum of. 4 and 8, you just look at, for 4 it's the last 2 digits, for 8 it's the last 3 digits. Okay?
That's the last 2.
Right, so if there's only 2 digits, does 4 go into 93?
12, 9 plus 3 is 12.
Well, let's go, we know 4 times 20 is 80, right? So 4 times 22 is 88, and then 4 times 23 would be what? 92, so it's not going to, do you see it's not going to be, so 8 is not going to work, or 4 is not going to work. What about 5? Does 5 go into 93?
No.
Nope. 6?
No.
Nope, because 2 is not a factor. 9?
No.
9 plus 3 is 12. 12 doesn't divide by 9. Nope. And does a 10 work?
No.
No. I'm going to skip ahead to some larger numbers. How about we do, I'm going to do 256 and 450. All right, 256. Who did 256? You guys that did 256. Does 2 go into 256? Yes. Does 3 go into 256? If we take the sum, 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 and 5 is what? 13. Does that work? Nope. How about 4? Does 4 go into 56? It does. So guess what? 4 works. And 5, does 5 work? Doesn't end in 0 or 5. Does 6 work? Nope, because 3 is not a factor, so 6 can't work. Does 9 work? 6, 7, 8, 13. Nope, 13 doesn't divide by 9. And 10, it doesn't end in 0. And the last one I do is 450. Does 2 go into 450? Yes, it does. Does 3 go into 450? Take the sum of the digits. I'm seeing some no's, but look, what's 4 plus 5? 9 plus 0, still 9. Does 9 divide by 3? Yep. All right, what about 4? Does 4 go into 50? Nope. Does 5 go into 450? Yes, it ends in a 0. And what about 6? Guess what? Because 2 and 3 are factors, 6 is also a factor. What about 9? Yep, because 4 plus 5 plus 0 is 9, and that divides by 9. And what about 10? Yep. Okay, if you want, you can verify the other ones on your own. I'm going to skip ahead. And I do want to show you, here's some of the other rules. These will be in the notes if you want to look at these. Like I said, 7 wasn't in there, right? So it skipped some. The book skipped a few. I would just put the remaining ones in there. I'm pretty sure the quiz is just going to cover up the ones that are in the book, okay? But I'm putting these in there also, okay? So you can take a look at these on your own when I post these on the notes. And then the last thing you can work on is you have time to work on the homework. I'm going to let you work on the homework individually. You don't need your laptops. Here is all you have to do for the homework. Pretty easy, right? Okay? Any questions? This is all you have for homework right here. Okay?